There is an apartment building in the middle of the city that most people walk past without noticing. It stands between two newer towers made of glass and steel. But this building is older, much older. Its brick walls are faded by decades of rain and sun. The windows are narrow. The hallways inside are dimly lit by yellow ceiling lights that buzz softly at night. The building was constructed in 1952. Back then it was considered modern. 6 floors, 48 apartments, 1 elevator, and a narrow stairwell connecting every level. For 70 years, tenants have come and gone. Students, office workers, night shift employees, people looking for cheap rent in the city. But many residents who stay long enough eventually notice something strange, something the landlord never explains. Because between the 4th floor and the 6th floor, there is something missing, or perhaps something hidden. The elevator panel inside the building is simple. Buttons labeled Lobby 12346. Most people never question it. Buildings sometimes skip numbers. Some skip 13 because of superstition. So tenants assume this building simply skips the number 5. But the strange thing is, if you count the floors while climbing the stairwell, there are clearly 6 physical levels between the lobby and the roof. Not 5, 6. Yet the elevator still skips number 5. And the hallway labeled 6th floor is 1 level higher than it should be. Some residents noticed this immediately. Others only realized it months after moving in. But when anyone asks the building manager about it, the answer is always the same. Old construction mistake. Nothing more. No explanation. No details. Just a quiet attempt to change the subject. The first documented report of something strange happening in the building came in 1998. A tenant named Maria lived on the 4th floor. She worked night shifts at a hospital nearby and usually returned home around 2 a.m. One night she entered the elevator and pressed the button for the 4th floor. The elevator doors closed. The lift began moving upward, but when the doors opened, she wasn't on her floor. The hallway outside was different. The carpet was dark gray instead of red. The ceiling lights were dim and flickering, and the hallway seemed longer than usual. Maria assumed she had accidentally pressed the wrong button, but when she turned back to check the elevator panel, the display read something impossible. Floor 5. The elevator had stopped on a floor that didn't officially exist. Confused, she stepped into the hallway. The air felt colder than the rest of the building. All the apartment doors were closed. Each door had a number on it. 501, 502, 503, 504. Everything seemed normal. Until she noticed something strange. Every apartment door was slightly open. Just a few inches. As if someone had opened them from the inside. Maria suddenly felt uncomfortable. She quickly stepped back into the elevator and pressed the 4th floor button again. The doors closed. When they reopened, she was back on her own floor, floor 4. She later checked the elevator panel again. The button labeled 5 was gone. Only the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 remained. Maria reported the incident to the building manager the next day. The manager listened quietly. Then he gave a simple explanation. He said the elevator control system sometimes glitched. Old wiring, old electronics. He insisted there was no 5th floor. But Maria asked a question that made the conversation uncomfortable. If there is no 5th floor, why were the apartment doors numbered 501 and 502? The manager paused. Then he said something strange. That level was sealed years ago. Maria asked why. The manager refused to answer. Years later, other residents began sharing similar stories. A college student claimed the elevator once stopped on an unknown floor during a power outage. A delivery driver reported seeing a hallway between floors while carrying packages. One tenant even said he heard footsteps directly above his ceiling late at night, but he lived on the 4th floor, which meant the sound should have come from the 5th floor. the floor that supposedly didn't exist. In 2013, a tenant named Daniel became obsessed with discovering the truth. Daniel was an architecture student. He knew something about the building's layout didn't make sense. So he visited the city's public records office and requested the original building blueprints. When he finally found the documents, he noticed something disturbing. The blueprints clearly showed 6 floors, and the 5th floor was not empty. It contained 8 apartments. Apartment numbers 501 through 508. But in the corner of the blueprint, there was a handwritten note dated 1961. The note read, "Level sealed. Do not reopen." No explanation followed. One night, Daniel decided to test the elevator himself. At exactly 2 a.m., he entered the lobby and pressed the 6th floor button. The elevator began moving upward. Then suddenly, it stopped between floors. The lights flickered. The display changed. For just a moment, the screen showed a number that wasn't on the panel. 5. The elevator doors slowly opened. Outside was a hallway. The same hallway Maria had described years earlier. Dim lights, gray carpet, silent air. Daniel stepped out. The hallway stretched in both directions. Every apartment door was slightly open. And from inside each apartment, he could hear something. Soft whispers, like people speaking quietly behind the doors. Daniel walked slowly down the hallway. As he passed apartment 503, the whispering stopped. Then he heard something else. Footsteps behind him. He turned around. All the apartment doors had opened wider, just a little more, as if someone inside had pushed them further open. Watching him, Daniel ran back to the elevator. But the doors had already closed. Daniel later discovered an old newspaper article from 1961. The article described a strange incident inside the building. 8 tenants living on the 5th floor had disappeared on the same night. No signs of struggle. No forced entry. Just empty apartments. The police investigation ended quickly. No explanation was ever found. Soon after that night, the building owners sealed the entire floor. They removed the elevator button. They blocked the stairwell entrance. And they told future tenants the floor had never existed. Today, the building still operates normally. People still rent apartments. The elevator still skips the number 5. But residents occasionally report strange things. Footsteps above the 4th floor. Lights visible through the stairwell wall. And sometimes, late at night, the elevator briefly stops between floors. The display flickers. And for just 1 second, the screen shows a number that shouldn't exist. Some tenants say the floor is still there, hidden between levels, waiting, and if the elevator ever opens on that floor again, you should not step outside, because the doors that were left open years ago might still be waiting for someone to close them.